Before we dive into the landfill of weirdness this week, the website is back, baby.
You mean the glorious return of gildedtrash.com?
Exactly. The digital dumpster fire has been rebuilt and it is live. You can find all of our socials, binge our YouTube, and send us messages. Yes, even your weird uncle's ghost story. And of course, links to our merch.
Which means if you've been dying to wear our logo on your chest, like some of you have, I know, drink coffee out of one of our mugs, use one of our beer koozies, or class up your desk with a Stay Trashy sticker, now's your chance.
Yep, and the best part, no more is the site down again. It's up, it's working, and it is your one-stop shop for all things trashy.
So that is gildedtrash.com. Go check it out before the squonk cries another river.
Lanterns flicker, thunder rolls, Scott and Crystal on patrol. Back roads twist, the moon hangs low, Sasquatch tracks where the rivers flow. Mic in hand, laughs hit the air, UFOs fly.
We're here, live from the kitchen at Gilded Trash Studios, a.k.a. the Hood One-Stop Marriage Shop, the Broke Down Palace, that's it. That's all the names.
No, it's not it. The soup kitchen for unhoused cats.
Yeah, the soup kitchen. Lil Soups is what the name of it is. Lil Soups is what we call it. No, this is season 3 of the Gilded Trash podcast. Back and better than ever. If I could replace water with any liquid, what would it be? Milk.
Grody. Ew, but that's not this part of this.
No, I know. I just wanted to say that. Put it out
Hi,
there.
I'm Scott, and if I could replace water with anything, it would be milk. Oh, speaking of hi, I'm Scott. Hi, I'm Crystal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
we got rid of Alana. I fired her. It was a long, tough decision.
Yeah, she was causing too much ruckus on
I talked
socials.
to HR, and they immediately got rid of her.
She's gone. She's out the door. Crystal's here.
You can't say your own name right. And that is your middle name, just to be fair. Like, you didn't make this up out of the blue.
No.
Nobody, I've never seen someone's middle name cause so much confusion.
So much confusion.
If I just started going by Eugene, people would be like, whatever, Gene. Do you know what I mean?
Right, exactly. So it's Alana, Alanna.
Which no human being on earth can say correctly.
None.
To read it and say it, nobody, you hear her. And you even say, you're like, Alana, like banana. And people... The concept eludes people.
It does.
They say Alana.
It's mostly Alana,
Ariana,
Elena.
Elena.
Come on.
Atlanta.
Atlanta. So, yeah, it was going to be my stage name, and I don't need it. I am who I am. Last year in September, I had a TikTok beef where they exposed my real life. So now those two worlds have now merged. Like, people that we work with know we have a podcast. It's not a secret. They know you do stand up. That's not a secret.
Right. They could go find it if they really wanted. Some people have.
Yeah.
It only shows you only one person has. So that tells me that nobody wants to.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
And that's okay.
That's fine. That's how I want it. But I'm just saying, it's not some big reveal, that all blew up into.
Right. So another thing you'll notice, aside from the name change, again, Crystal, Scott and Crystal. That's who we are. That's who we've been for 17 years. I just had to make it difficult for the last two with something weird. So that's done.
But now we have to introduce into an entire group of people that started calling you like
yes.
that.
Oh, yeah. So during that time, that was also Scott's 2 years of coming up on the comedy scene. So as we were meeting new people, I was introducing myself as Alana, and that was my stage name when I did open mics. It was so a lot of people from Pittsburgh and a lot of people from Altoona, I introduced myself as Alana, and then a couple of weeks ago, I was just like, F it, I'm reclaiming my name. So I've reclaimed Crystal on socials and taken it back in a harsh way. It's Crystal MF and Reed, if anybody cares to know. But I was like, damn it, I'm reclaiming my name. I'm taking it back.
Yeah, but it's just funny, though. It's just what's in a name, really.
Exactly.
It goes back to the whole thing. What's in a name? But no, it was interesting because, like I said, there's still a bunch of comedians and stuff that say that. So we'll cross those. But it's easier to get people to call you Crystal. First off, it's way easier to say.
Right.
You can spell it 100 different ways.
Exactly.
It's not like Atlanta where you can say it, but you can only say it one way.
Right.
And nobody mistakes it. Nobody's like, Crystal? Crystal?
Except for in the 90s. Gosh darn it. I got called Crystal all the time, and I hated it.
After the champagne.
Yes.
Because of rap songs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nobody drinks that anymore. I mean, they probably do, but
God.
nobody raps about it, certainly.
Yeah.
They might still be drinking it. I'm sure they probably are, but
no, they've moved on to
other ones.
bigger and better.
Bigger and better. It's always the latest and greatest when it comes to...
And I couldn't tell you what the name of it is because I don't drink that stuff.
Oh, it eluded me.
You feel like you should know.
Yeah, I feel like I should know.
Talks about it, I'm sure.
I mean, there's 100, but I'm just saying there's more than, there's a bunch of, there's a few. Moving on.
So that was the one big thing. The other big change that you guys will notice. So actually, the theme song for Gilded Trash Season 2 is sticking, but I'm going to have to re-record it with Crystal in the name. So
that'll be fun. It might make for a few more fun rhymes.
Yeah.
What rhymes with Crystal? Pistol?
Well, that's a whole other episode. Let's keep
that's
that
about
one.
it.
Yeah, but no, but it'll be Crystal and Scott, so they'll just change the framing of it.
Well,
so
maybe not. Maybe I wrote those lyrics.
I know.
So maybe it'll be Scott and Crystal pulling up on you with a pistol down in Bristol, Virginia, motherfuckers.
But the biggest change of all, because Crystal has always been my name, so my friends who listen to the podcast who've known me forever, and my sister and whoever else who tend to listen in every once in a while, my brother-in-law who pretends he doesn't listen, but I think he secretly does. All of those people have always known me as Crystal, but we are not filming anymore. We're not filming the podcast. We're recording it.
Nobody watches these things anyhow.
No, and it just became such a big thing. And then I had to do hair and makeup. And I've literally, if you go back through the lifetime of Gilded Trash, I'm a completely different person today than I was back then. And it gives me anxiety.
It's just one more layer, and it's also more work that we have to do.
Right.
And by me, I mean you.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is the editing then becomes a nightmare because there's so much to the editing with the visual aspect.
You got a lot going on.
So it's easier to make an audio file and then create clips as needed.
And that'll be getting better, too, because we are going to make a couple of upgrades on, the audio-only recording equipment, so that'll be good.
Yeah.
But here's my thing about it is, the one... Who are you making the video for? The one weirdo out there that watches podcasts? Because even if you watch it on YouTube, what do?
You're not watching.
You turn it on, you do other stuff. It's a podcast.
Exactly.
It's to listen to.
I watch obsessively because I'm studying facial patterns.
You may look if they're let me pull it up here. Like on Joe Rogan, he's like, Jamie, pull this up. And then they'll show you. But it's not essential to the listening at all.
It's not.
Those guys, you know what I mean? The percent, like I said, the percentage of people that are watching it is so small.
And actually that's a great segue conversation into what totally sold me on this was a podcast you have done recently.
Yeah. It was called The Recess Kings. John Saxton and oh, you got to cut this out. Because now I can't remember his goddamn last name.
I know. And I don't know his name at all. So.
Yeah, James Bradley. I knew his name was James. I just couldn't think of.
Yeah, let's just go back into that.
No, let's leave that in there. That's funny.
Okay, sorry.
You don't care that I didn't know his last name.
Sorry, James Bradley.
Sorry that I didn't remember your last name. I knew it was something like that, but
like I was thinking of Bradley
Michael.
Michael.
Say someone's last name.
True.
And you know me, I'm not real. I don't social media. I mean, like I might look here and there, but like I'm not really following you, so I'm not going to see your name pop up a bunch because I don't really look at it for anybody.
Right. We know comics names because they say them every time they're on stage.
And I've only seen him a couple times because he's primarily in the State College area. So.
Right. Which I do enjoy his stand-up. It's unique.
Oh, I told him he reminds me of like Lenny Bruce.
Yes. Oh, dude.
Not so much like his style of comedy because, that's a different thing, but it's his like mannerisms and the way that he talks. It's the way that he talks about things, not what he's talking about.
Correct.
But yeah, no, I agree. I've said that before.
Yeah, I really
He didn't know who that was when I told him, so he was going to check him out.
Dude. Yeah.
And if any of you don't out there know who Lenny Bruce is, go check it out. It's an acquired taste. I think so because it's old stand-up, which is different than what people do today. We're talking about the guy that made the genre.
Right.
Nobody was saying things like him before. He was pushing the envelope as far as like what you could say. First Amendment stuff. He was arrested how many times for cussing or what? And if you read it today, it's tame by today's standards.
Absolutely.
They'd have murdered Eddie Murphy in the streets in 1954 if he was doing like Lenny Bruce's work. You know what I mean? Like they would have hung him up.
And we learned through, the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel characterized him. So it wasn't really him and made him way hotter in real life than he was, or in the show than he was in real life.
Right.
But
it wasn't an accurate physical portrayal.
Correct. Right. Because you could see why he had an allure in the show, but then you look at the pictures and you're like, ah.
Right. In real life, he has a tougher look.
Right.
He looks like a...
Right. And
he looks like a New Yorker.
Yes.
Of like what you picture like a kind of a bad boy kind of guy, like in the 1950s or whatever.
Exactly.
Like he looks, he's like, hey.
Right. But like...
Gonna get you.
The show gave him like a John Mayer type swag.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the show was... Well, of course, Mrs. Maisel was not historically accurate.
Correct.
It's historical fiction.
However, the reason why I'm even bringing that up is because they have you could really get underground recordings back in the day.
Absolutely. It's absolutely historical fiction. It's no different than watching, like, say, The Gilded Age.
Mm-hmm.
These stories are not... They're nobody's story.
Right.
They're an amalgamation of stories of the time... of the people, like it's fiction.
That's exactly
historical
what it is.
Fiction, and they took real places, real times, real facts, real things that were going on.
Yes,
but the characters that you're watching were not real.
Exactly.
Right.
And even some of the themes in the show, like when they went up to like the Cascades or wherever they go. The Catskills.
That was a thing.
That's a real thing, obviously depicted in Dirty Dancing. Yeah, I've talked about this before because my dad worked on some of the properties up there during his roofing days.
And comedy, the Borscht Belt.
Yes.
It was a big thing because, well, a lot of the comedy and Jewish history of New York go a lot hand in hand.
Yes.
Because a lot of those people, there was like these, huge, like complexes. I don't know what you call it, like retreats for like Jewish people. And a lot of the comedians from New York City.
Right. They were resorts. I mean, they were essentially like resorts, but resorts back then on the East Coast were a little more tame. It seemed like they were like family campgrounds without the RVs.
Right, for rich people.
Yeah.
Like you had a cabin, but it was all in this thing. But
they did bingo and
watch Dirty Dancing. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But comedy was tied into that.
Absolutely.
Comedy was a huge part of that.
Yes.
That they don't explore in Dirty Dancing, or do they? Do they have a comic in Dirty Dancing? At any point, I just thought maybe like a passing scene.
The MC tries, and I think they do one of those "Take my wife, please" moments.
Benny Goodman, or Benny Youngman.
Benny Youngman, yeah.
Benny Youngman,
yes.
Take my wife, please.
Yeah, something like that. And if I remember correctly, but I could be mashing up 7 different movies.
Right, but those are the kind of people that went up there. It was like New York City comedy, the Borscht Belt in upstate New York.
Yes,
and that was all a very big part of the early beginnings of comedy, stand-up comedy.
Yeah, absolutely. But so getting back to podcasting, so Recess Kings, I hadn't listened to it before. Full disclosure, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts.
That's fair. A lot of people don't. I mean, here's the thing is like, just think about this. And then we'll get right back to this. But if you think about it from the aspect of, look at all the people that you enjoy to listen to and follow.
Yeah.
It would be impossible to absorb all of their content all of the time.
Right.
So you have to pick and choose your battle. You just can't get to it all.
Right. There's no way. And especially doing other things in life. We both have full-time jobs.
Right.
And
we do our own podcast.
Right.
I don't even listen to that.
Right. And like our job doesn't warrant listening to something. Like sometimes you can, but depending on the content of the podcast, you can't always listen mindlessly too. Like I've found that I cannot listen to Sean Ryan while I'm working.
Why would you want to?
Right. Because I want to
you want to watch and absorb and listen and take it in.
Exactly.
You're paying attention.
Yes.
It's not, say, a Thea Vaughn.
Right.
Where you can kind of come and go because it's
or
not
a
one
Joe
streamline.
Rogan.
Well, Joe Rogan more is in-depth discussion.
Yeah.
Whereas Theo's more, I'm saying those kind of podcasts, it's not one solid theme. Like if Joe has a guest on there, a lot of times they're there to talk about the specific thing that they do. Unless it's a comedian, then they talk about all kinds of things. But he'll bring, if it's an expert on something, they're going to talk about that the entire time. That will be the line of thought and you pay attention. But like a comedy podcast, you kind of come and go. You can pick it up here and there.
Yep. And so, like with Recess Kings, I was really happy to hear you on a different podcast because let's be honest, you and I have been together for a long time. I know all your stories.
Right. It's different for somebody to come at it from a curious perspective to tell you.
Right.
Like they would ask questions that you're never going to ask just because you already know.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
All right, guys, quick break from the chaos because we need you. Yes, you to send us your weird.
Your cryptid sightings, your UFO encounters, your I swear this house is haunted moments. We want them all.
And don't just yell them into the void. Go to gildatrash.com, click the contact link, and tell us everything.
This is your chance to make us pack up a car, drive 6 hours to the town that you live in or grew up in, and wander around in the dark while I question my life choices.
True story. If you've got a squonk in your backyard, a ghost in your attic, or just saw something in the woods that you can't explain.
We'll bring the cameras, the coffee, the bug spray, all of it.
The jerky.
The jerky.
Exactly, but we can't come to you if we don't know about it. Not only that, I'm not going to probe on certain things just to get podcast content because we don't have like an agenda as far as our backstory goes.
Right.
Like our backstory just is what it is, and when people question it or bring it up, we're happy to conversate on that. But there's just no. So your backstory is key to so many things, including you being a comic. That I'm glad that you got to share that story with some folks who were truly interested and raised some really great questions.
Well, it was just fun to get a different dynamic.
Yes.
Just to have, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, John Saxon, I know a little bit, you know, I'm better than James. But like John and I wouldn't say that we know each other well. We know each other very much in passing. We always say hello. It's very, you know what I mean? It's
Sure.
niceties. We've done shows together, but it's not like we've ever sat down and had a 2-3 hour conversation.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like we know each other, but we don't know each other.
Right.
I'm putting quotes up.
Right.
In that regard. So that was a good opportunity to get to know him more.
Yeah.
Because it's like, again, when do we see these people? It's a, hey, how you doing? It's a, what's going on? And you're like, oh, that's great. That's wonderful. We exchange niceties and we are on to other stuff because it's always at a show. It's always at a mic.
Business.
It's business. Yeah. So we're not just standing around bullshitting. So that was exactly what it was. It was an opportunity to get to the,
Yeah, but
dig
it was
in a little deeper.
a great episode. So
It was a lot of fun.
Recess Kings. Scott Reed is the guest,
But go check out their podcast because it's a really good podcast.
Yeah, these guys are great.
I love those two together.
Yeah,
John and James together. It's like they're not alike. I wouldn't say like they're not the same person or anything
at all.
But their dynamic works well together. It's like they have it's a good dynamic.
It is,
and they have great podcast voices.
They do. Oh my gosh! And that was the other thing is. Scott has a great voice. When my voice isn't scratchy, I have a decent voice. So it just feels better hearing them and finding out about their setup. Like, I feel like I can comfortably just go back into audio recording and the content is going to be good because that layer of necessity goes away.
I had people reach out to me and tell me that was one of the most interesting podcasts that they've listened to. And people that listen to podcasts,
right?
They said when you're able to listen to a whole episode and not get irritated or whatever, and the train of thought, the pace, I had a more than one person tell me that they really thought it was just really good, like the questions, the answers, the flow, you know what I mean? It was just a great episode. Props to those guys because like, it was sweet, but their setup was so easy. That's what inspired this whole thing. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, because we want to be able to just pick up and take this setup wherever and get other people in the room and talk as well. Like, we want to do this. We want to bring more locals to the show. We are definitely bringing Frank George from All the Wrong Moves on.
Let me just say that's part of the other reason for this is because we've reached out to a lot of people before, but it's a lot to get somebody to come over to your house to get to do this whole thing. If we can just take this on the go and do this anywhere, then we're going to have a lot more opportunity to talk to other people.
Engage.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. And just being able to promote all the amazing people, business owners we've met over the past couple of years, or just business owners in Johnstown where we absolutely love whatever. Usually it's food, of course, but
even not just here, Johnstown, Altoona, Central to West to Midwest Pennsylvania, Maryland. But our focus is primary. I'm just saying, like, for the most part, 90% of it, I would love to, because we have a lot of contact with a lot of business owners, places, people that are doing things in those communities.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, that's where our main reach is in terms of coming in contact with the community.
Yep.
And I like that. It's just important to highlight on those things.
Yep. And one of the things that I definitely want to get away from this year this season is talking about national politics. I think we need to get back to ground root politics. So you'll be hearing more about that, which is and just in thinking about keeping everything local, or not everything local, but keeping
local,
it. I also am really passionate about doing an old timers segment where we get some folks that are like,
that would be fun to do. Here's the thing: is we could do it start here in Johnstown.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear an old timer from
every city,
Kenmore or Cascade, or all the places that we touch. I'd love to hear the old timers' perspective.
Yes,
because they know better than anybody.
We want all the stories. We want to hear what it felt like back in the day, what you were eating, who was coming around. Like back in the 50s, 60s, there were like celebrities among us. They would just show up and like when they were in town for a show, they would just camp at their friend's house that they met through another show. And that's how the world worked, right? Before all of this hootenanny. So I'm excited for the old timers segment. We've got a couple guys
we got some old timers.
We've got some old timers. We've got a few, and we've got some not so old timers who still have some old timer stories, which would be fun. It's going to be real interesting to see what this season holds, but I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, no, that'll be good. Well, going back to that with the old timers, some of that is stories. Some of the old timers, they got too old. They're no timers now. So you have to get the stories that were passed down to people like Frank.
Yeah. That's
although he's approaching old timer here real soon, but that's in story. I'm busting his balls. That's all.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that because there's something in the water here in Johnstown that's keeping us all way younger looking than we need to be.
We'll get to that when we get to old Frankie boy there. But that's where we're at now with the podcast. That's how it's going to be moving forward. What else you got there?
Well, I mean, we haven't been on the air since October, so, or maybe even September. I don't even remember.
No, it was way later than that.
But it's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been probably like 4 months.
Yeah. So just catching up real quickly on what we've been doing. Of course, Scott has been doing comedy and food.
And more comedy and more food.
Yes.
But let's not get too into it. Let's just highlight a couple of things. Some big special things that we're happy. Big thing, shout out that we were just talking about Frank, All the Wrong Move Productions. The show that we did Valentine's Day out at the Alley Sports Bar in Central City. Shout out the Alley. We've been back since.
Yes.
It's a great spot. Get out there and check it out if you've never been out there. The show that they put on, 200 people, audience members, everybody crushed.
Yes.
Everybody crushed. It was like those people were lit. And they were laughing, and it was a great time. But thanks to all those people that were involved with that was great. Kat, shout out Kat.
Yes.
Because she's always the one that, Nate. And good thinking.
The Alley was just under new ownership in June of 25, and this guy is looking at doing more shows.
I think they were two guys.
Or these guys. But yeah, so excited. That place is flipping awesome.
Yeah.
It's an old bowling alley. It's got skee-ball and
skill machines and food and drinks, and they got horseshoe pits outside. Yeah. It's a big place too.
It's huge.
It's gigantic. So go out there, take the family. Go out there. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Because they got plenty for the kids to do down the little thing.
Yeah. It's like a mini arcade, I guess.
Yeah.
So
and you can play the big adult machines while your kids are playing machines. It's fun.
PA skills. Woo-hoo. Yeah. So that place was awesome.
We did some shit. Let's see.
State comedy.
All the usual suspect. State comedy, Comedy Farm. All those guys have, we've been doing that. You know what I mean? That's old hat. We've talked about them before, but shout out to those guys. We love them too. And we got lots more stuff coming up with everybody.
Tracksuit Scott's been doing
Scott,
open mic out at Gamble Mills. That mic is just we can't stop talking about it because of the ambiance.
I was just talking to somebody about it the other day. It's my favorite place.
Absolutely. Scott Kelly and I were talking about it the other night.
I think that might have been who I was talking about.
And we were talking about it really, somebody said it, and I don't remember who said it, but it feels like a set of Unplugged.
Yeah, it does. It's very personal. It has something to do with the couches, the fireplace, the rocks, the wood.
All of it.
You know what I mean?
It's a whole vibe.
Yeah, it is. It's very good. We can't never, ever sing their praises enough. Of course, all the usual places, Arts Altoona, McGarvey's, all those great places. If we miss you, we're not missing you on purpose.
Exactly.
When it talks about those things. But as far as like stuff, I am going to mention this though. So what I was going to say was, two things specifically. One, we did a really cool show in New York.
That was a great room, by the way. I love every comedy room for a different reason.
Yeah, it
Shout out
wasn't
to the kid from New York. He brought like everybody that he worked with.
Yeah, I don't know their names, but they were all good.
They
The
were
Whiskey
good.
Cellar, New York City. That was
Yeah,
very good.
the host was really good.
But yeah, no, it was a fun show. But what we really want to talk about too then is, so coming up though, we're just talking about, since we talked about what we've done, we will come back to New York City with food in just 1 second, but I don't want to talk about that with the comedy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
But coming up, so I did a mic last night. Now I'm on a show Thursday, opening up for the one and only, my brother from another mother, Earl David Reed. No, we did a show with him at State College. It's just funny because he's black and I'm white, obviously, but we do share a last name. So it's fun to talk about that and make it seem like, there's some relation there.
It's funny. He's so good, dude. Like his crowd work.
The guy's immaculate. Dude, he's the best crowd. He's as good a crowd worker as you're going to see. He's as good as a Matt Rife, Big J. Okerson. I'm just thinking of crowd workers here.
Yeah.
He's as good as any of those guys, like in terms of just, that's his whole thing. That's what he does. He's very, very good at it.
Yeah.
A very old time comedian, as Earl says in his bio. Who said it? One of those old comedians, said he works the room like a Las Vegas showgirl.
It was
Don Rickles.
Don Rickles, yeah.
Don Rickles said that about him. So if Don Rickles gives you an approval as a comedian, you're doing something right.
Yeah, he's so good, dude. I can't wait for that show.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. And the other people, I mean, you got Puma and Ridge, of course, and Adam. It's gonna be a fun time. So.
It is gonna be a fun time. And shout out to McGarvey's.
Oh yeah, we want to talk about this.
Yeah.
McGarvey's. I love McGarvey's. It's one of my favorite bars that I've been to, period. I tell you this all the time. I love any place that's just, it's like the food's good, it's cheap, the beer's good, it's cheap. Like you're not going to.
You don't have to worry about what you look like or how you're. And
I'm not saying that it's a dump. It's just it's an every man's bar.
It's a dive bar.
But it's an every man's bar.
It's an every man's bar.
But that's what a dive bar is. A dive bar is a every man's bar.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you don't go there for the frills. Mm-mm. You go there because it's good and it's efficient. It's like liquor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't waste time. You just get down to business. You get some drinks, you get some food, and you have a good time. Talk to people, bullshit.
Yeah.
But they have a great stage there. And we've said this before. They have a great stage there. But they made some personal changes to it to give it some ambiance.
Yeah.
They got the loft upstairs with a private bar.
Yeah, they're going to have a VIP section for the next show, I believe. I just saw that Andreas O'Rourke's going to be out there in May.
Yeah, I know. I
love that kid.
Yeah.
He's another good crowd worker, by the way.
Yeah, but he has more. I wouldn't call him a crowd worker.
No.
Can he work the crowd? Sure.
Yes.
But that's different.
But he also has.
He's a comedian.
Yeah, yes. Absolutely.
Can he work the crowd? That's the difference. You don't call somebody that's a crowd worker somebody that specifically does that. Just because you can work the crowd and that doesn't mean you're necessarily a crowd worker.
Right.
I would say.
But I've witnessed him being amazing.
Oh, he was very he's very good at it. It was very he's very good. But I like his stuff too.
Yeah,
I love his material. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
But that'll be fun. I just saw that today, so I'm excited that he's going to be coming out to Altoona. Where were we going with that? Food in New York?
Yeah, so you did this show in New York. We left New York. Well, food in New York. I mean,
no, the pizza. We had some great pizza in Hoboken, New Jersey. Some great views. We'll be going back there.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't spend a lot of time eating in New York. We were there for a show.
We didn't. I had some Chinese food.
Delivered.
Oh, we had some good calamari.
Yeah, that calamari.
That bar was cool.
That bar was cool.
That was one of my that was a cool bar.
Yeah, I'll tag him in the bio because I don't remember. And the bartender was awesome.
Yeah, everybody there was very nice.
My drinks were a little strong, but whatever.
I mean,
for me.
But the calamari, that was good calamari. We eat calamari a lot, and that was good calamari.
Yeah, it was. But then, so next day we had breakfast at the hotel restaurant, and that was decent. And then we rolled on down to Hoboken. Where did we get coffee at? Oh, we got coffee in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, we went to Brooklyn for coffee. We went and got some bakery stuff over there. Then we were like headed home, so we stopped for pizza there in Hoboken and discovered what a wonderful little town that is.
Oh my gosh.
It's beautiful.
Like
the little walk there, the river walk thingy.
I don't know what I grew up thinking about New Jersey.
They lied to you, because I was talking to Ridge about that last night. He said they lied to us, and that I think New Yorkers always talk shit on Jersey to try to keep people from like going over there. It's 100% better.
Way better.
You get like all the benefits of like being right there, but like you're not right there.
Yeah. And
like,
so much cleaner, pretty.
That was very nice.
My gosh.
People, I think Jersey gets a bad rap sometimes. I mean, I'm sure, of course, people are like, oh, go to this neighborhood. Go. I get that. I'm not saying that everywhere is nice and all this. I was led to believe the whole thing was that way.
Exactly.
And it's clearly not. That's all I'm saying.
End
of story.
End of story. and we've got recommendations. So now, so I did post about that on TikTok, and now, like, we're going to have a whole tour based off of pizza spots.
Tell me your town and tell me your pizza, and I'm gonna come there and I'm gonna eat it, and I'm gonna start doing this, because here's the thing: is people want good, honest reviews. And I know that Dave Portnoy already does. I'm not trying to be Dave Portnoy. I love fucking pizza. And I eat more pizza than most people ever should. Sometimes I eat it multiple times a day.
Different stuff.
Different styles of pizza.
Because there's the Tortino's always in the freezer.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I enjoy pizza, even at its most fundamental level. Totino's. You know what I'm saying? Like, other people don't like
cardboard
Tostinos.
And ketchup and Scott.
No, it's good, but it's good in its own right. So I feel like I have a better perspective on pizza than most people, because I just eat it so damn much. And the thing of the matter is, name your town, name your pizza, tell me where you think it ranks, and I'll come try it out, and we'll give an honest opinion.
Yeah.
I'm still searching for the best pizza I ever ate.
Absolutely.
That's what I say.
So we've got another name in New Jersey. I'm not going to name any of these right now.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
We got another name in New Jersey. We got a hit on New Haven, Connecticut. We've got, I've got a friend in Detroit who wants us to come out and do comedy, so she'll tell us where to
here's
go.
my thing. Let me qualify this for the pizza thing. I follow every pizza group that's out there. I know all about it. I see all the places that are trendy.
Right.
The so-called places that are not the big names, but also everybody knows about them as being like the best. I want to know the super secret. The ones that are so good that you don't even tell your friends about it because you don't want it to get busy.
That's exactly it.
That's the ones I want to know about, and I want you to share. And I promise I won't tell a single soul about it. I'll disguise it in any way that I can, but I just want to try the pizza, and I'll review it, and I'll leave the mystery up to people to figure out where it is on their own or something. I'm just saying, if you don't want me to shout it out, I won't.
Right. Absolutely.
But I want to try the pizza, so let me know. Email us, text us, phone us, hunt us down, knock on my front door, do whatever you have to do.
So real quickly, before we get into the main portion of the show, what I've been doing since we've been off for the last couple of months, I've been on a hobby hop. I'm not even going to lie. I'm ADHD. There's a thing that goes with this. It's called hyperfixation, where you'll fixate on food or a hobby or a craft and do it. So I'm trying to balance not spending too much money on crafts and hobbies. So when the last I talked to you guys, I was on a sourdough journey. I'm here to tell you, fuck sourdough.
Fuck sourdough.
There is no reason.
No one needs it.
Nobody needs it. It's unnecessary.
And if you do want it, there's a million people out there making it.
Yeah, somebody's making it. I'm not going to lie. Like, my sourdough starter is good. It didn't turn out bad. It wasn't a flop.
It's not a taste thing.
No, it's too much work.
Here's the thing is, and it's the same reason I'm not making other kinds of bread, to be honest with you.
Because somebody else is making it fun.
Because it's just easier. It's just one of those things that I don't want to take the time. And to me, the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
That's exactly it. And so I found a happy medium with that whole journey. And I did buy a bread maker. It was inexpensive. It was like $70 on the TikTok shop. And I've made a couple loaves of bread and they're deets. Like, I'm not worried about it.
And if that's your thing, awesome. Have at it. If that brings you joy, keep on making it because I'll keep on eating it.
Right.
I'm just saying for me as a practice, that's not.
That's too much like.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's too much
I like
responsibility.
cooking, but I also don't like having a fridge full of jars and
science experiments.
The whole thing, and then you're like, what do I do with this? You can only eat so much bread.
Right, exactly. So that journey's over. I did pick up crocheting in the meantime.
Which I love. Not only did you pick up crocheting, let me say this. She taught herself to crochet. She's Jimi Hendrix out here, buddy. Because let me tell you what, crocheting ain't easy. That's one of the... Pimping and crocheting, they're the two things.
It's actually very easy. I don't know. It's easy for me.
But no, you taught yourself... But I'm saying it may be easy for you, but my point being is... You figured it out like on a very fundamental level. Most people have to have someone show them. You were just like, you learned it in like the most rudimentary way because you did it with like big giant loops.
Yeah.
And it was like almost like if you had like king size Legos or something.
Yeah.
So you figured it out on a grander scale and then that allowed you to shrink it down to the level of, with the...
Yeah, the lower. Yeah, absolutely. And it's fun. And I whipped out a couple cute little crocheted little plushy things. So that is definitely a thing for me. That is sticking around. I do have to get different yarn. So I started with like fluffy pattern, like it's, I forget what it's Chanel. And that's actually, so not only did I teach myself how to crochet, but then I started with the hardest yarn to work with.
Right.
Like a dummy. Because that's just how I teach myself things. So, and now that I know
how you learn.
Right, exactly. But now that I know the fundamentals, there's a lot of different things that I'm working on. I got some prototypes. It could definitely become a vendor craft for me easily. In the winter months when I'm feeling like I just need to move and do something, that'll be good for me to just whip up things in the wintertime when I want to just not be on socials as much, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's something, it's good to have something to do.
And the other thing that I did was, so I did break down, I don't read anymore. I can't. And I've talked to Chappie about this extensively because when I was younger, that's all I did was read. I was the most voracious reader. I would, into my early 30s, I could read a book in a day if I wanted to. Like, that's just how I was. But
any book. The Bible.
But that's just for me and where my brain lives now and with technology available.
Yeah.
It's just not the space. I don't need to escape like I did when I was 10.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't have anything to escape from. So I did download Bunny XO's audiobook. I think it's called like Unstripped or something, or Stripped Down, or I don't even know. But it was good. It was everything I expected her to say. Like, there were no major surprises at all. She very much is open about who she is, has always been.
Right.
There was no, like, juicy secrets in there. But here's the thing for me. Like, my key takeaway is that I noticed, like, people commenting on her stuff like, oh, my God, I can't believe that you lived through that. You're so strong. And I don't disagree, but I also don't, like, I didn't live it to the extreme that she lived it.
Right.
But I've lived a lifestyle that would be similar in
Some people are shocked by anything. I mean, but that's the thing, though. That's what makes, it's different strokes for different folks. That's what makes some of this stuff interesting.
Right. That's
because
exactly it.
It's about perspective, but if you have some of that, it's not as interesting.
Right. And I'm not saying the book wasn't interesting, by all means. If you like her, then it was definitely, it got me, I cleaned a whole basement listening to it. So it was good. But again, like, I'm just not into that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
The beauty of it though was that she narrated it, so that was nice too, because her voice is nice.
I mean, I love a good audiobook. It's all about the voice.
And she was actually the one that inspired me to come into the podcast world with a different name. So
thanks a lot for that.
Thanks. So speaking of, I love a good synchronicity, right? So full circle, because I listened to Bunny's book, I listened to Bunny's audiobook. She's the one that inspired me to even want to do a
Jelly
podcast.
Roll got RKO'd on SmackDown. It was a real full circle. Nah.
Oh my God, how gorgeous is he?
But
regardless of all that, podcasting in general is kind of the theme of the show. We've talked about how the podcast changed. Bunny inspired me to do the podcast. But one of the very first... I'll pause.
Well, no, keep talking. I'll come right back.
Okay. One of the very first experiences we had in podcasting was because we were in the Outer Banks, and we've talked about this before in some of our true crime episodes, but we were in the Outer Banks and we saw an episode on a billboard.
The billboard that changed my life. And I say that because it was the first time that I ever, it was, to be honest, and I mean, I've always had a interest in, true crime to an extent, but, it was, so the first, I was like, what am I listening to? I wanted to stay there forever, and it took me back to a time, it painted the picture so well. And because we were, there,
yes,
it added something to it, and it was just magical. And Counterclock,
yes,
Delia D'Ambra,
yes,
my favorite podcast still to this day. There will never, to me, some people are like, some of the greatest podcasts.
Yeah.
No, my favorite podcast that I've ever listened to, and I've listened to the other seasons, but seasons 1 and 2 of Counterclock. I even like season 3 though too. The family murder. That one's good too. But seasons 1 and 2 of Counterclock are hands down my all-time favorite podcast. It's my favorite cases. It's my favorite true crime thing, and it is just the best. And we're talking about this because this was the first podcast that we discovered that we really fell in love with.
And it was because of a billboard.
And it was because of a billboard while we were somewhere else. We were in the Outer Banks at the time.
Yeah.
We saw this billboard. We fell in love with it. Fast forward 8 years later, something like that. We were coming back from New York City yesterday, driving through Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. Somewhere in there, I don't know exactly where we were, but we saw a billboard for a case, and it was for, what's her name?
It said, "Is Patty Rohr guilty?"
And it was from an organization called judgesforjustice.org.
Yeah.
I mean, that's their website. It's called Judges for Justice.
Right.
Their website is judgesforjustice.org.
And sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, which is a group of judges, and I'm not sure if it's entirely judges, but all people from the legal profession, but it's judges that head up this group, former judges, or maybe current, I don't know the exact logistics.
And legal professionals.
That have formed this to help
exonerate
people that have been involved in, wrongly accused murders or what. And I don't know the full extent, but this particular case, it's a woman accused of murder. And we've seen cases like this before where all you got to do is there's 30 seasons of Dateline about how cops, district attorneys, state's attorneys, rig trials, plant evidence, the FBI. Dude, there is so much corruption going, and you can sit here, you can tell me I'm being hyperbolic, but you don't know. Like I said, there's 30 seasons of Dateline of time and time again of not just accusations, because I understand that's one thing. These are proven things, and it's called, what is the thing that the judge kept referring to when people in positions, the end justifies the means. It's called goodwill corruption or something like that.
Yeah, that's what this guy touches on in the episode that we listened to. People
think a prosecutor, a cop thinks they're doing the right thing because they think they know for a fact that this person did it. So it's not that they necessarily plant evidence, but they fudge a record, they overlook something goes missing. And it turns out then years later, DNA evidence or whatever, other exculpatory evidence proves that these people did. I mean, there's whole organization. This isn't news to anyone. There's whole organizations that do these things.
We're not here to comment on the science or the legality or the technology.
Right.
What this actually boils down to is, so we saw the billboard and
another billboard.
We were like, okay, we have 4.5, 5 hours till we're getting home. Let's see what is out there. This specific case, the victims were Joanne Kliniak, I think is how you say it, and Alex. Let me see.
Her child.
And her son. Yeah. And he was only, Katrinak, that's what it is. So it's Joanne and Alex Katrinak. I think Joanne was in her 20s and Alex was 4 months old. And this, again, was in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. It was in Catasauqua or something like that. Catasauqua Valley. Casadate.
Because they called it Cassie for short.
Caddy.
I thought that was Cassie.
Caddy. But anyways, so I just asked Chappie, I was like, give me the details on this. So Chappie pointed us to a couple different podcasts, and I picked one that was filmed in 2023. And it's a podcast called Criminal Discourse, because I was looking for something that just summarized the case, right? So Criminal Discourse, I mean, I'm all about production value. They had nice voices. It was well produced. It was well put together. And when I tell you that these women presented a open and shut case, when I walked away from that hour episode of Criminal Discourse, you could not tell me that this Rohrer lady wasn't guilty.
Right, absolutely. And that was the point of it, is it was all in how they framed it. They just went with basically what the police had to say and took them at their face value. And we're like, oh, they did this. It was kicked out on appeal. Yada. But this is but then we listened to the judges. Our question was, there's no way that these judges associated themselves with a case and were fighting so hard that they're taking out billboards and everything else if there isn't something to go off of.
Correct. Like, why would they
put themselves out there like that?
Right. And so, logical discernment kicks in, because how many people out there believe that they've been wrongfully convicted?
Right.
And how many organizations like this exist? You would think that there's more than there are, but the ones who do exist, I mean, they're pulling as many resources, grants, funding as they can to and
there's not enough resources.
And they have to reinvestigate the case. Then they have to get the judge to reopen the case or turn over or consider an appeal. So there's no way that an organization is going to waste that amount of time, effort, resources.
Right.
If there wasn't some plausibility in the wrongful conviction, right? So we were like, okay, let's just go to the source, the horse's mouth. And we listened to, the episode. There's 8 episodes if you go to the judgesforjustice.org website, it links out to YouTube episodes that cover the entire case. We wanted to jump to the Cliff Notes, so we went straight into episode 8, which, not gonna lie,
I wish I would have gone back and listened to the whole thing.
Samesies.
Because I wanted to, they give you the highlights, but I'm like, I want to know more about this. I want to hear the details on this.
Right. And
I want to get into the weeds.
And so in episode 8, the gentleman, and I don't know his name, but in episode 8, the gentleman is tying up the case and he's giving you the reasons why they are trying to get it reopened, essentially. Whoa. Jesus H.
Oh my God, people, I almost died. I almost slipped. Don't run around in socks in your kitchen floor. And this goes back, I'm going to show you, our viewers can't see it. The listeners can't see it. If they were viewers, they would be able to. This, can you see it scored?
Yes, I see that scar. I've been looking at that scar for 17 years.
So what happened was I was running around in socks. This happened on Franklin Street, and we had a tile kitchen floor, but there was then there was the living room, and that was carpeted, but then there was like, when you walked into the entryway, that was wood floor.
Yeah.
For like a little...
Yeah.
You know, like, whatever you call that.
It's like a square.
No, it wasn't, though. It was almost like a separate room.
Oh.
It had like a little dining area. That's where we had the dining room table. Mm-hmm. And then, like, but when you walked in, it was just, we'll just call it the dining room with the wood floor. And I come running through there, and we had like, you know, little things in between each. And I come running through there the one day on the wood floor in my socks. And let me tell you, I mean, that was like 7-8 stitches there.
Jesus.
From just fucking slipping and just smacking my face off the floor.
Oh my gosh. You need more collagen in your diet. You scar bad.
No, I don't break bones. I've fallen and I don't break bones. But don't wear socks around the house. That's bad for you. Get yourself.
Here we go.
This is not an ad read.
It is not an ad read, but it should.
It should be. Get yourself a pair. What are they even called? What's the company? I can't remember now.
Cloud Dream or Dream.
No. Cloud 9. Is that what it is? Cloud 9. I gotta look it up. Hold on. Because I want to get it right. Because it is. Cloud 9 sheepskin moccasins. Go get yourself a pair. Let me tell you what, we each got one. And it is sheepskin. Sheepskin has been used for footwear we found pyramids with sheepskin shoes in them. The Romans were wearing, sheepskin has been known because of its natural abilities to like keep out stuff, but also allow it to breathe. It like has very natural magical properties to sheepskin.
So anyways, yes, Cloud 9. And let me just tell you too that I have sensory issues and I cannot wear anything but pure 100% cotton socks on my feet, else they get really weird and slimy. And I can wear sheepskin moccasins without socks and they just feel amazing. Like, and they don't get, like, I don't get sweaty.
Even the wool or whatever it is inside is like nice and it doesn't get hot. You don't get sweat. No, it's amazing. Get yourself a pair. Sheepskin, Cloud 9 is the company. Sheepskin moccasins. They got everything sheepskin. Kind of like that place we seen on the highway. What was it?
Garrett's.
Pat Garrett's Sheepskin Emporium and Draft House.
I don't know. But anyways, back to true crime. So don't fall. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
I'm not falling.
So back to true crime. So essentially what we're getting at here is that so when the criminal discourse episode was presenting the evidence, and here's the thing is, I don't want to knock any podcast. Like I said, it was a well-produced podcast.
Yeah, it was fun.
2023, the Judges for Justice was already working on Patty Roar's case. It's already well known, but the way that they framed it up a little bit really pissed me off.
It was the way that they said things. And it was
to be definitively true when there's definitely evidence to the contrary, or the way that they framed things up to make you believe something that wasn't true. Like, key example was they said that there were 3 long hairs taken from the car. Well, the way that they described it, they were saying, oh, you didn't have long hair back in the 90s unless you were in a hairband. The actual hairs were 5 inches. 5 inches long. That's not long. And if you look at the other people who potentially could have been suspects, they had 5 inches head full of hair.
But more importantly, and these girls didn't deep dive the evidence, though, but what they did do is just accept the face value story that had been given by the police and the media and the court
right,
cases.
The generally accepted outline of what happened.
But the problem is that when it presented with when breaking each of those things down individually, you see that things are not as what they were presented to be. And I'm going to give you another example of this that I just came across today. A lot of news, people talking about the Charlie Kirk bullet. They said that they could not match the bullet that was taken from Charlie Kirk, out of Charlie Kirk. They could not match it to the gun that they arrested Tyler Robinson with. And everybody's like, oh, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Suddenly these people are using OJ line. Like, you think OJ didn't do it? What are you talking about?
Right.
Like, that doesn't even make any sense. You're setting that up in an argument. I saw that comment so much. It's almost the antithesis of what you're trying to say.
Right.
Like, you're saying that he's guilty, but they're like, it's a frame-up job.
I love when forensics experts come out on
Oh, I know. But here's my thing, though. If you read the article, which I did immediately because I knew the way that the headline read did not match. The bullet fragments that they were testing were too far gone to make any conclusive result. They couldn't say one way or the other.
Right.
They couldn't match, nor could they not match.
It was inconclusive. It was not that they didn't match it. It's that they couldn't match it. And that's semantics.
But look at the way that people frame that up, though. All you saw all day is Candace was right.
Exactly.
The bullet didn't match. This is going into the thing. And that's not at all what was even said. First off, and second, this is the defense making this like argument.
Right.
That they're the ones that are presenting we got this evidence that says these things. But what they're also not saying is they have like DNA evidence, like on the gun, shell casings, various things. Regardless, I'm not going to get into the case. I don't want to. But the point being is it's a misrepresentation of what the facts actually are.
Right.
It's a characterization that isn't true.
Right. And it's spin. It's total spin. And it's detrimental to the case. It's detrimental to the truth.
But that's exactly what happened in this case as well. That Charlie Kirk thing was just a side note to illustrate how it happens in everyday life.
All the time.
But in this case, in particular, it's almost as if, because here's the thing, is if you're going to frame it that way, I think you have a responsibility to make it, if you're going to frame it that way, you should just say, this is the official police report. This is the official, like, I'm not taking a side. This is what they're saying. You can just leave it at that. You don't have to dismiss, which is what I felt that they did.
They did.
A lot of the things that the defense, they're like, oh, this lady did it, but they found her DNA. Well, yeah, but come to find out, the DNA was like
swapped out.
Like if you, and I mean this, and obviously this isn't a radical opinion because these judges have laid out this case like lawyers that they are.
It's pristine.
That they are, that there is no way, like the things that were said, like there was definite things, a definite neglect of duty.
Correct.
And there was a definite, they are very careful not to say a blatant, like, fixing of the case.
Right. They're not saying corruption, but they're saying that the chain of evidence shows that it would have had to have been swapped out because otherwise they wouldn't have gotten the result.
What was the Lehigh Valley District Attorney's name? Because I want to make sure I give him a big fuck you. Jim McNally or some bullshit like that.
Martin, maybe.
Let's look it up.
And so, and shout out, oh gosh, I wish... I'm so horrible at this, but the guy who narrates the episodes,
oh, he's good.
He's hilarious because let me just tell you, he is a troll in the truest art form. Troll.
Fuck Jim Martin.
Fuck Jim Martin.
That's what I just want to say. Fuck you, Jim Martin, district attorney for whatever, because all these people worked for you. All these people knew, and it was your connections that set this whole misrepresentation of justice in motion. And the fact that they just can't come back. This is what bothers me, is none of them are ever willing on all these cases that we watch where that's proven beyond of a fact of a doubt that the cops lied, didn't handle evidence properly, did all the things wrong. It's been proven time and time again in a lot of these cases. What do they never do? They never go out of their way to correct the mistake.
No.
They double down on the lie. and try to hide it.
Because think about the domino effect.
Well, because it unloads everything they've ever done in their career.
Everything. It opens other cases. I mean, but somebody's going to have to rip the Band-Aid off of it.
Well, that's exactly. There has to be a reckoning at some point. But that's the problem with a lot of this is, and we could go down this rabbit hole too, because we say this all the time because we see it on these true crime things. When you follow true crime, you know that the real power lies in the hands of the district attorney and the state's attorney. And they're the ones that are behind a lot of this. And the pressure to close cases, those are political appointments. It all gets passed down to the cops. These people are all connected.
And that's what he talks about in depth in that episode is like the framing. It becomes a public concern. You want to appease the public and let them know that there's safety in their communities. And so you have to have a suspect in a closed case. And they don't care about the truth. They care about a suspect in a closed case.
Right. It's kind of like we say at work, like when you're talking about like a person that's on the front line of the business that you're in. Do you think they care about like the overall mission? No, they're there to meet their numbers.
Right.
And that's all they care about. And that's all it ends up becoming. And I'm not saying this is across the board, but it happens way more than it should. But the thing, what it becomes is it becomes a numbers game. Instead of being interested in the truth, like you said, they become interested in closing the case.
That's exactly
or interested in a figure.
Right.
A number, a figure,
right.
whatever.
And we've seen those ghost metrics drive improper behaviors, improper outcomes, and without even disclosing when, where, why, or how, it happens everywhere.
And what we're saying is not even controversial.
No, it's not. Well, I worked in the mortgage industry before I worked in healthcare, and in the mortgage industry it was happening. Those guys wanted to make their sales quotas, so they were closing fraudulent loans, and some of them were prosecuted for it. They were setting up loans that people didn't agree to the terms to or didn't understand.
But even if you go, and I think that's more criminal than what a lot of this I don't even think is criminal in the sense of like, not just with these cases, it's different, but
right.
It includes is that people, because the wrong things are rewarded in the system, you get the wrong outcomes.
That's exactly it.
And because it's incentivized to produce certain outcomes, the outcomes become skewed just by nature in and of itself. That's a systems thing across the board. That applies to anything in life.
Right.
That's going to happen.
Right.
When you incentivize the wrong things,
right,
you're going to get the wrong results.
And
even if you meant to or not, some of it's intentional, some of it's not.
Right. Well, and that's what the kind of so the guy calls them tools in the episode, but there's like 5 like key points that in order to reopen a case, you must meet one of the 5 things. And whatever those 5 things are, I don't remember them. This case meets 4 of them. And one of them is like, it's not like, again, the intent is neither here nor there behind whether or not the police intended to neglect or malpractice or whatever they did. It doesn't matter about the intent. It just is what it is. It happened.
It doesn't matter if you did it criminally or it was an oversight. Right. It happened. It doesn't matter why.
For example, one of the key ones that really turned my mind around was the way that the women in criminal discourse framed up that one witness who, on the day of Joanne's disappearance, went to the cops that day and said he heard gunshots near her residence. That they 15 times in the statement misspelled his name, handed it to the defense, and said, oops, it's your fault you didn't figure out who he was.
I've seen those tactics on Matlock. They used it last week.
Yes, like, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these are basic, they're so well-known tricks that they're putting it in TV criminal shows.
That's exactly it.
Made up shows.
Right. And so in that case, like, that's whatever, it's withholding exculpatory evidence.
Or
whether or not it was intentional, that the fucking state trooper was an idiot and couldn't take down somebody's name off their fucking driver's license.
But then we find out later, too, though, that makes it seem intentional. You find out other things where they
He destroyed
the reports. Yeah, so that's undeniable.
Right.
So much so, and we know this is true because he wouldn't even name him on the podcast.
That's exactly it.
He wouldn't even put his name out there.
Because it's part of the case.
It's criminal, yeah.
It's criminal.
He's going to get charged.
Right. So they're asking for two things to happen. One is for the case to be reexamined with the DNA evidence that was never presented. There was a cigarette butt at the scene of where the bodies were found that was never tested. There was a fingernail in Joanne's chest that was never presented for DNA. And there was a hair in her hand that was never presented for DNA.
And so the DNA test that they did originally, the things that they did, the hairs that they did do the DNA test on, originally those hairs, they said they didn't contain roots to have DNA. Then magically, all of a sudden, a couple years later, they were viable, testable. And we're not talking a difference in technology here, though. The scientific people that saw them at the lab even reported them being different colors and mismatched. There's a lot of mismatch. There's more than just smoke. There's a little fire going.
And not only that, but the original 3 hair samples that were taken from the car, there's a letter and a chain of custody that says that the FBI are returning these 3 samples back to the Pennsylvania State Police, but yet somehow they got back to the FBI for retesting 3 years later, and there is no chain of custody getting them checked in at the Pennsylvania State Police, so they weren't rechecked back in once they arrived back, sent by signature mail or whatever, and when no chain of submission asking for the retesting back to the FBI, but yet somehow the FBI got 3 hair samples that they had sent back to PSP with no paperwork in between.
Exactly. And I don't want to go into the whole case we just laid out.
I know, but
go check it out for yourself. But our point is with this is that it has to do with how it's presented.
That's exactly it.
It's about semantics. It's about the way things are framed, the way you can be portrayed or understood or understand something based on the person that's telling you the information.
I've done that in socials so many times. I was just talking about it with my friends this week because I have been talking more often to a group of creators who, when I first came on the app, I referred to them as the Mean Girls because the way that they were portrayed in my feed was that they were mean girls. I mean, and I judged them and I held them in a certain light and I believed things and I never deep dived it. But what I'm getting at with all of that is that, and it's why we decided not to do a true crime podcast.
It's where the phrase "don't judge a book by its cover" comes from.
That's absolutely it. It's
a tale as old as time.
And we opted out of doing true crime exclusive. And we talked about doing true crime because it is one of our passions. And we are probably more equipped than most people to talk about
to discern. Yeah, but I'm just saying that would be extreme. But
no, but I mean, everything, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's very, very, in today's day and age, you should always question the narrative, regardless of what it is and who's telling you and why they're telling you and where they're telling you.
Question us. Speaking of
don't
which,
even believe me. They'll take my word for it.
So we are going to close this on a little fun note. We are going to do a segment every week just to fill some time. And because Scott's so good at it, we are going to do a Wheel of Wisdom. So we are going to pick a topic using a randomizer, any topic, and Scott is going to riff on it for 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, not going to say I'm not going to interject.
Well, I'm just going to they give me 15 random topics. If you can instantly master any skill, what would it be? And I think the answer would be karate because I'd just be going around chopping motherfuckers. Just, you know what I mean? Just whooping ass everywhere. Anybody that tries to... What was your least favorite subject in school? Music.
Mine was
history. I hated music class, dude. That was the worst. And it's not that I love music. But the music they teach you in music class, buddy, that's some shitty fucking music. They're like, here's a song from 1910 written by fucking
Johann von Gutenberg.
Johann von Gutenberg and his wife.
That's hilarious.
It's called How Many Potatoes Do You Want for Dinner? Should we have a 4-day work week?
Yes.
No, we should have a 1-day work week. What's the worst movie you've seen recently? That's a tough one. I don't know.
Daddy and Them.
Daddy and Them. That wasn't that bad. If you had to get rid of a holiday, what would the holiday be and why? The holiday that I would get rid of? Easter. I would get rid of Easter.
Our Christian friends are going to hate you for that one.
Well, but I would leave the religious holiday of Easter.
Get rid of the commercialism of it.
Get rid of the commercialism of it, but here's where I want to move it. I want to combine it with Halloween. I've told you this. So I don't know when we would have it, but somehow the idea of going around to collect eggs in a big thing rather than just candy out of a bowl, the Christians should be behind this because we'll get rid of the devil, take the Easter bunny out of Easter, leave Christ where it belongs.
There you go.
Combine the two for one super holiday called Halloweester.
Halloweester.
Or
stupid.
What could it be? Or Easterween or Bunnyween or something. Bunnyween.
That sounds weird.
Bunnyween. Or the Ween Bunny.
Oh,
no, but regardless of any of that, no. I just think that's my take, is that we take the bunny out of Easter, the devil out of Halloween, combine the two for one holiday where kids go around dressed as rabbits to collect eggs in bags. We could eliminate the Halloween. Well, no, they wouldn't like that, would they? Think about it, though. You already got the candy. Easter and Halloween, candy comes in color-coded. You know what I mean? Like you take the pink and blue of Easter with the orange and black of Halloween. You put it together and make like a green and orange.
No, a hot pink and black. Yeah.
Or whatever. I'm just saying, but you put it together. I don't know what it would be. And the theme could be Jesus fights the devil.
Oh, my God. This is what happens when we give Scott a wheel of wisdom.
Jesus could fight the devil. Churches could do those things where they do those plays. But this time, Jesus is fighting the devil. We could have like stage cage matches.
So Jesus rises from the dead, fights the devil, takes out 2 holidays. And he's back home by Monday morning. Oh, my God. Anyways, so that's it. We are still going to be coming back to you the 1st and the 15th of every single month. So we'll be back to you on April 15th. In the meantime, I hope you missed us. Welcome back. Welcome new listeners. And
welcome back.
I love that song. And if nobody's told you,
stay trashy.
Stay trashy.
Question what you read. Leave that in.
Haunted highways, midnight stash, riding shotgun, kicking ass, whisper, swirl, mysteries in sight. Who knows where we end up tonight? The beer ice cold and the music's good. Some old dive bar out there in them woods. Gas station snacks, campfire glow. Every Rutter's employee already knows. Egg rolls and lemon heads, fried pickles galore. Can't ever leave without buying the store. Gilded trash, where the wild things roam. Comedy and legends, we bring it home. Haunted highways, midnight dash, riding shotgun, kicking ass. Hold tight now, it's a winding ride. Scott and Crystal, side by side. Barbecue joints, laughs that last. Hop on in, friends, this is Gilded Trash.